first off, thank you so much for your beautiful film that will no doubt help so many to heal and feel seen. So just a big congratulations.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Scarlett, the way that you gave space for the emotionality of your actors was exquisite. It's also quite powerful watching the dichotomy of Eleanor and Nina discovering their strength and vulnerability with each other and the ease and grace at which they communicate versus the kind of palpable tension at home with their loved ones. Can you please talk about the importance for you to allow the coexistence of pain and joy, of laughter and tears when exploring grief and their journeys?
Yeah, I think, certainly have learned, as I've gotten older, how, that we can have a lot of feelings about something at the same time. It doesn't have to be just one way or another. And sometimes those feelings seem conflicting, but they exist inside us all at the same time. And I think, this film shows how, I think we have our family and then the family that we choose. And, certainly I think that's the relationship that Eleanor and Nina both have with one another is almost a even deeper closeness because they don't have any, they don't have any expectations from one another. They can just be themselves, and they don't have the kind of disappointment that can come with expectations, like they may have from their own family. And I just for me it was just about letting that letting they both June and Erin, I mean, they're here, it's weird to speak for them, but they have such natural chemistry between one another. They just like each other so much. So I didn't, it wasn't like I had to create something that wasn't there between them, which does happen sometimes. I've certainly worked on projects where the chemistry is not there, and it's very hard. You see the director struggling to bring actors like to the same level, or even on the same page, and it's kind of an impossible conundrum. But luckily, I didn't have that. I had two actors who really enjoyed one another's company, and so that made my job easier. Yeah.
Beautifully said. Thank you for that. It's so true. I think that the one thing that we don't, and hopefully this film will help people realize this, is there's no right way to grieve, and it can be really confusing, kind of figuring that out while you're in the grieving process, and just allowing the space for these two characters, these two brilliant actors, to your point, just be and create that connection was quite profound. And the growing relationship between them allows their hearts to kind of open up to heal. June and Erin, was there a scene or a shoot day in particular where you just both felt the kind of that special connection really lock in, where you both got really excited and were like, oh, this is going to be so meaty and special to keep exploring?
I feel like I think we had that moment before we started filming. I don't think that moment happened on set. I don't know if there's a specific like click that we had. I think it was just like immediate for both of us. Like we felt very connected instantly. Yeah.
And our first, which you reminded me of, excuse me, our first day was shooting at Coney Island. And we had a lot of time talking and being together, and because it was all sort of far away shooting and everything. And we took our time, and we had a great time that day.
Yeah, it kind of helped that we were in a, there was like a lot of time for you guys to just be sort of hanging out.
Together.
And while we were trying to figure out what we were doing, to be honest, sorry about that. But I find like you really do bond with other actors when you're just kind of waiting
When you have
around.
time.
Yeah, it makes a big difference. Then you learn about each other, and you kind of, it's like a great way to, you have something you can then kind of hold on to for the other days,
Yeah.
Absolutely. I also have to say, like, as a journalist and someone who deeply believes in the power of storytelling to create empathy and to educate. Your film really amplified that core belief. Thank you so much for your time. I could talk about it forever, obviously, but thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.